Melkor is going to be first up. Void Eruption versus Paparazzi. Try to see if those Void bolts attack him. Does get one to connect. Going to be Paparazzi removing the dots from himself completely. I think using the Curious to pick up or something. Going to be Melkor taking lots of damage. Void Shift real quickly. Try to see if he can swap some health from Kira in order to give himself a little bit more longevity. Today we're allowing Void Shift in order to see if that makes duels more interesting for Shadowlands, since they're not really all that great at duels right now. How is Paparazzi? Is he got some judgment to remove dots? Wait, this man got some judgment cleanses. What is this? Wait, this could be huge for Melkor. He could have easy CC onto Paparazzi every single time. Putting dots on him, Paparazzi ends up using judgment and keeps cleansing himself off of dots. That's gonna put CC into him. He's gonna end up removing dots, but also put himself in a horror effect. This could be huge. Big damage, big void eruption onto Paparazzi. Does go for a bubble, and that's gonna be a full, almost massive spell out of Melkor. Paparazzi locks him out with a quick blind, catching up some healing. Gonna be greater fate for Melkor for a second, trying to go for the mind control, putting the paladin out in the open, potentially maybe chain a stun or two with it, maybe a slow. Gonna be Shadow Meds as Melkor, trying to see if he can give himself a bit of recovery. Trying to go for a huge Shadow Crasher on the corner, does connect Paparazzi, looking for a bit of health recovery himself. And Melkor just trying to make sure he's good. Once they kind of fight him out in the open, where Paparazzi would rather play around the pillar. Where melee love the pillar gameplay, the range kind of like playing way out in the open, forcing the melee out there. So then it's a lot harder for them to catch back behind the pillar. Paparazzi continues to get a hit with them Void Bolts back to back. Mind games on him, so any kind of healing is going to put him in a tight spot. Paparazzi continues to cleanse himself off of dots them. Big damage to Melkor, using a lot of those Blades of Justice back to back procs in order to get himself a lot more healing. Melkor trying not to get interrupted in shadow as best as possible. Does get kicked the last second. Silence with a quick horror as Paparazzi keeps cleansing himself off of VTs. Every time the judgment, they throw a cleanse on himself, and if they have a VT on him, he puts himself in a horror, which gives Melkor a little bit more CC. Does have to reapply those dots, but it does give him at least a bit of opportunity to get some damage out. Big damage by Paparazzi with wings. Melkor with a Void Eruption. That's going to be Paparazzi again, cleanse himself off dots completely, and Melkor back with the dispersion, trying to keep himself afloat here. Has a Reparic Embrace coming back up in a bit. PI active. Mind Games gets a trip last second as Paparazzi trick inside of him. Melkor could be in a bad spot, definitely himself a little bit more healing. As Braun comes out trying to help out Paparazzi, but he does get feared as well as the Pally. Mind Games, Paparazzi is going to be healing Melkor for a little bit here, and he kind of, actually he can dispel it. With Judgment, he can literally dispel it, get himself a quick interrupt on versus the Void Torrent. As Paparazzi just trying to keep himself alive, afloat as best as possible. Those cleanses though, keeps putting himself into CC. It does take away the dots that Melkor is putting on him, but it does put Paparazzi into crowd control every single time though. So I wonder if that's actually to his benefit or not. I think cleansing the mind games off you is huge, but cleansing those dots and putting yourself in CC when you just want to get some pressure rolling, that could be pretty tough. Stun to Paparazzi, does he get the Void Eruption to work with? Void Torrent, it's going to Paparazzi, no hold whatsoever. It's a Shadow or Death. Melkor, no hold whatsoever. Blind by Paparazzi, trying to see if you're able to make something work here, trying to catch up. More of a defensive blind, could have used aggressive here, could have been more offensive. Does it lock out Melkor and Shadow? Does Melkor have any more damage? Any more healing? Looks like he is able to heal himself and keep himself afloat as best possible. They're literally just having this tussle right at the start of the arena here, right at the start of Team 1 position. Gonna be potentially dispel out of for Paparazzi. It looks like not gonna go for dispel just yet. He was locked out in silence. Melkor still has the mind games in case he needs to. Honestly, he may decide to get a stun to Paparazzi and then hit him with the mind games. He needs to wait for him to use judgment first, then hit him with that mind games to make sure that it sticks. Trying to see if he gets interrupted. Stun, mind games, big damage out of it. Shadow Crusher follow, Void Torrent is going to Paparazzi with a blessing of protection. Not really sure what a bop is going to do for you. Trying to heal himself, put himself in a bad spot. Wait, Shadow Ward execute potentially. Does the dust send him off? Oh my goodness. Healing yourself instead of dispelling it. Oh my god. Definitely needed to use judgment there in order to remove that mind games. Melkor tried to see if he may be able to survive the warrior as Barbados just absolutely blasting him out, disperse out really early for the Shadow Priest. Does he have any crowd control for the warrior? Trying to go for mind control, does land it. Does the warrior trinket? He does trinket, looking to land of executes as the warrior just runs out with a big banner, reckless abandon everything. I feel like Melkor played that as best as he could versus that paladin, man. Actually was able to do something there, because normally the Shadow Priest is rough, man. Worth, let's go. I like it. Stone to Barbados did have a reflect, not early enough apparently. Trying to see if he may be able to catch some healing for its Revity. Quick fear trying to shake up this Retribution Paladin, but Revity just continues slamming into the boy, absolutely just cutting him in half. Necrolord slam set up, big divine burst onto the warrior, just absolutely wiping him out. With Plush going to be up next. trying to see if he may be able to swing over to Reventy. Maybe get an opener before Reventy can recover after the warrior. Reventy used a lot of the offensives, still has the offensives. Blessing of Protection just walking out of that big explosive versus Plush. Just absolutely avoiding stun. Plush forced out to use a trinket. Cloak of Shadows really early. Shadowblades was also used. Was that a proc or real Shadowblades? Trying to see if he can continue the chain CC back-to-back stuns onto Reventy. Vanish, I'm not really sure what he used the Vanish for. Maybe use Vanish just to continue chaining on Reventy. Is Plush playing like a single Shadow Dance build? Is he playing like a singular Shadow Dance build or like a... Because he vanished. Very aggressive. Very aggressive vanish. Okay, Shadow Dance coming back up. Is he just going to be charged? No, he's playing 2 charges of Shadow Dance. So I guess he manages to get himself some CC capability. Reventy going for the bubble immediately. I don't know if he had a human racial coming back up or not. I guess he wouldn't have access to it for like 20 more seconds anyway. Disarm onto Reventy. Does he really need weapons in order to take down the rogue? Trying to do the very, very best that he can though. He is able to generate holy power, but I think he does reduce some of the damage of his Tempest Verdict. Skin the shot, back to reverse it onto Reventy. Next auto attack for the Paladin is going to activate Wings, which could be big defensive play, but sounds are coming back to back. It looks like Plush did have him locked down airtight from a cheap shot, kidney shot combo. It looks like Glitch is right next to Plush. He knows he's exactly right there. He's just going to give him a quick sappy. And Plush has nothing left. Cheap shot, and Glitch is going to go for full Shadow Blades. I don't know if it's actual Shadow Blades or just a proc. But back-to-back eviscerates, nothing you can really do about it. Literally nothing you can do about it. 30% dampening. So the healing is going to be reduced for the both of them. Glitch also is going to have some of his healing opportunities reduced as well. Get a shot on the Necum. Blessing Protection get a force out of the Paladin pretty early on. Seeing the health dip. Did not want to see what happens on the next eviscerate. Doesn't want to, I think they just basically didn't want to fall behind on the rogue. Because you could just get hit by Eviscerate, but if it puts you super, super low, then I guess it would just be much more of a trickier situation to get around. And then I think that's what they're trying to do, just trying to see if they can maybe stabilize before they fall behind. Shield of Vengeance, proc through easily. Just absolutely slice through it like butter. Trinket out of the rogue, trying to reverse that stun back into Neko, and then go for Blessing Protection that early. Keeps them in the 4 Barons, and there's nothing they can do. When they really need a bubble, they just don't have it. It looks like a lot of the boys over in Team 2 are just gone. Absolutely just sliced right through with Athaman back to holding down the fort. This time versus Glitch isn't going into the duel at the 10-minute mark. This time he's going on the 8-minute mark, so at least a little bit of dampening in his favor. Picking up the eyes, looking for Glitch potentially. Trying not to get sapped by the rogue. Does avoid getting sapped up with the blades adjusted around the corner. He waited for the rogue to come around, so then Athaman got the corner turn. Normally you wait for the other person to turn the corner and you hit him. There, Athaman got the corner turn and hit Glitch. This was out in the open. Big stun onto Glitch. No chicken available. Does Athaman have enough damage? Wings are up and running. Glitch is absolutely just surviving through this go. Did a Priest pick up with a big heal or something? Because this man just had plenty of survivability. Cheap shot onto Atha, could potentially be in a bit of trouble. Shield of Vengeance, could turn the damage around onto Glitch. Blind onto Atha, doesn't have a way to break it unless he wants to pop an immunity. Or there's no way he's going to sacrifice it versus Glitch. Glitch does have a Chem Slime on him. Potentially Chem Slime almost getting him out in the open. Consecration does get the rogue back out. Caught out into the light smoke bomb. Trying to see if he can shot a step past Atha. Get a shot, lock him down. Bubble out of Athaman. And Glitch just looking to see if he can get away. Does get himself into a Shadow Meld. Has advantage in case he really, really needs it. And Athaman looking for the recovery as soon as possible. Maybe human racial still available to break out of that. Glitch backing away, letting that Flesh Cup do work. Letting that Flesh Cup give Atha a heal. Not really sure if he's just trying to make it a fair duel. I think maybe he could get an opener and got a kick. Or maybe he was like, you know what? I'll just back up. Maybe he wants to interrupt Atha on Holy. So interrupt on Shadow just wouldn't be as valuable. Better just wait. Let the immunity fall off, and then come back in. Stun onto Glitch. Athaman just doesn't have the damage to work up. Does get the crits though. Big procs out of nowhere. Vanish out of the rogue as the Blessing Protection comes out, but it's going to be a blind onto Glitch. Athaman hits on Consecration. That's exactly where he wants him. Does he have a stun to follow? Glitch has a chicken back up. Unless Athaman just takes him out right there. He doesn't need much. Oh, he does go in for that hammer at the end. Taking Glitch out. Man, the blind caught him, dude. That blind was so clutch. Bazazzo getting a bit of a rematch versus Atho. Atho walking into this one dry. Walking into this duel absolutely dry. Maybe if he gets back that blind, maybe if he gets back some of those other CDs, maybe he could make something happen. Cheap shot into Atho as he had to eat the full Resonator Trinket, the grenade. Atho just continues just getting blasted out by those back-to-back visits and Shadow Strikes. Shield of Vengeance potentially could get a turnaround versus Zetzo. At this point, if Athaman has a Hodge, has a blind, anything to get this rogue off him, I don't know if it'll be enough, to be honest. Consecration down. Does Zetsu walk into it? He doesn't. Barely walked into it though. Barely touched it. Right out of that shield defense range too. Could have gotten tapped by it, but he didn't. Shadow Strike by the Rogue into a Aegis. Is it going to be enough though? Those events are going to be deadly. I think it's over. Yeah. Aegis is the only thing that Atheman really had. At that point, all you could do is maybe go for, I don't know, if you didn't have Aegis, maybe if you had a Battle Masters, but it's still a deadly situation, dude. The Rogue just, when they lock you down like this, is not what you could do. Oh man, that was good. I enjoyed that one, dude. Gloosh absolutely just doing a bit of work. Shadow Priest actually got a chance to play.